Welcome to Beyond the Shadows
Hey.
podcast. It is July 18th, episode 19.
Mhm.
Hey, I got my one job right. I'm Dan.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Zach.
Hey, what a wonderful Tuesday. Sorry we're late. We're having some one technical difficulty after another.
Yeah.
Our internet browser wanted to keep shutting down and not hold, so I don't know, and then we're still having trouble getting our guest on, Jerrad from St. Joe. So I'll let you talk for a little bit. I'm trying to. Oh, I think he's on there now.
Yep.
All righty. So weather, hot.
Yeah, it was raining today too, which made it humid.
Yeah, it made it humid and hot and everything.
Yeah.
And apparently we had major rain this weekend. I didn't know about. I was in Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
But the Post Malone concert here, and I was getting caught up on all the videos of the flooding. They were the water level was like up to the car doors, like people were swimming in it.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I was like I told you.
Yeah.
Friday I was looking at I was just going through TikTok, and it was like boom. All of a sudden it was like I saw this video of this lady was like, yeah, it's pouring down rain in here. And then she's like, our car's flooded. And she opened the door and there was water in her car. And it's like, if anybody even knows what our amphitheater's like, it was like deep. It was like up to everybody's bottom of their cars and in their cars.
Yeah.
It's right next to a sewer, a waste, kind of like a big waste gully on the thing. And when that backs up, then it flooded the whole parking lot.
Yeah.
Everybody.
They were all swimming.
Yeah. There was a guy swimming to his car.
I saw the one guy that like jumped over the barrier into the water, and I'm like, I mean, it's deep, but it's not that deep.
Yeah.
Not deep, you can go dive.
That's the guy who ends up breaking his neck.
Yeah.
So it looks like we don't have a lot of people in here tonight.
I don't know, man. I don't pay attention to numbers.
Well, I mean,
But
usually when you get in, there's a list of people already talking.
What we do have is Kathy is the winner this week. Kathy was the first one. We got Kathy, Jules, Pam.
Hello,
Pam's
hello.
in here early.
Hello.
Pam, on our recent TikTok video, you made the video actually. There's a certain spot in there where apparently you break Dan's heart. So you got to go watch that one. You haven't seen it yet because I just posted it like an hour ago, but you watched it. And then we have It's Spooky Ray, which is Rachel, Jules' friend.
Hello.
Met you over the weekend.
Hello.
We played Secret Hitler. And if you guys haven't played that game, it is the most confusing game in the world, but it is fun.
It's so fun.
And I got stuck with being Hitler the first round I ever played that game, and I was extremely nervous. It was a fun time, though. Yeah, it was just a game about lying. You just have to lie the entire time and prove that you're not Hitler.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot more to it, but it's a fun game.
Let's play it.
So yeah, let's before we bring him in, let's talk about
Saturday or what?
What we do Saturday.
What
we're doing
the event at Glore.
Yeah. And introduce the location of what we're going to be doing.
He's always in riddles. Our guest tonight is Jerrad, and he will be at Saturday night. Will be at Glore Psychiatric Unit in St. Joe, Missouri. He's going to come on and talk about the building, maybe fill us in with some of the stuff that we didn't see last time we were there, history, some cool exhibits they have, and just cool things. The building alone, I had to say, hands down, without even investigating, it's just a really cool place to go check out during the daytime or whatever.
This will be our second time, and the first time we were literally just exploring the building on our free roam. There was no investigating.
So
a little bit, but
tickets are still available. You can go online at HauntedSoulsParanormal.com, buy a ticket. Tickets are still available, so we'll be there Saturday night and everything. With that, we'll bring in Jerrad.
Hello.
hi.
Hey, welcome.
Thanks for having me, all. This is very cool. I like what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So, tell everybody who you are, how long you've been with Glore, and what you do, and get to talk about your building.
Sure. Well, my name is Jerrad Hardin, and I am the experiences coordinator at the St. Joseph Museums, which is the umbrella for several museums. One of them is the Glore Psychiatric. Our main offices actually are at the old state hospital that was once called Lunatic Asylum Number 2 in 1874. So we get to tell that story all day long. It's one of my favorite things to do. I was born and raised here, but I worked for a long time around the U.S. and so I'm back here doing it. I've been here for a year in this position, but I was volunteering before and have done some work for them in the past. So
That's cool.
It's cool. So we have been to Glore once. If you heard, we were there back in March. Yeah. March.
Yeah.
We were in, and very great. It was an awesome building. Very, very cool building.
Yeah.
And everything like that. So just alone, like I said, just exploring the building, just museum wise, I thought it was really cool building.
Of course, yeah. So obviously we're in a building from 1968. It's the one of the psychosurgery buildings, and then the other building that we have is another psychosurgery building, which means where they would have done the lobotomies, right? From 1927. Those are the two buildings that we have access to. Of course, that most of the campus is off limits because it belongs to a prison, frankly. And so we can't get in there unless we commit a crime. And so
not my plan.
Not my plans. I'm good with your building.
I like to
Let
be
other
able
people
to
do
enter the
that
building and leave when I want.
but you can definitely see it when you come there. And yeah, so
just a little tidbit about that though. The difference between your building and the prison is one door. Am I right?
One wall.
Is it the wall or the door?
Yeah, I mean it's a very small. It's a thin line, my man.
Yeah, it's. Oh no, the door goes to that door that you guys have with the chair going through it. That goes to the other.
That goes to the school.
Other
That goes to the
building,
school. Okay, that's
Sure.
right.
But there's a wall that it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, the brick wall is the prison.
Yeah.
At the end of that one tunnel. Yes.
Yes, and we do have access to that. And even though that's not to the prison, it is equally as spooky. And so on the other side, of course, is completely off limits on the other side of those doors at the end of that tunnel. It's a privately owned building now, but we can certainly get into that tunnel there. But yeah, at the end of the other tunnel is just a very small concrete wall. So.
Just to give everybody a little tidbit though.
I wonder what section of the prison though is on the other side of that wall.
Yeah,
Do you
know what's on the other side of that wall in that tunnel?
That's a really good question, and I've never gone to ask. I will say that, like, I've been there a year, right? And there's so much going on at the museum, especially because we're not just the psychiatric museum, but we're the Black Archives and so many other things. And so I just did meet the administration from the Missouri Department of Corrections, and they were cool as heck. I cannot tell you, they were not entirely in the door before they were telling us about how haunted the center administration building is. So, yeah.
Let me tell you.
Can you imagine? I mean, we've said it before, like at St. Joe, because we've been to not St. Joe, but Jeff City. Can you imagine just like sitting in your cell at prison and all of a sudden just a apparition walks by? You're like, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those guys say, frankly, that they just gave up. Sometimes they go into their office and they might find a book on the floor and they don't think twice, man. They just pick it up and put it on there. And, there's a lot of stories from the center administration building. And unfortunately, we can't get over there, but it's spooky all the way up the hallway, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would like to know. That would be kind of cool to know what's on the other side of that tunnel.
I mean,
wall.
I doubt that they would line it up towards somebody's cell because then they'll just be chipping away trying to get out of there.
Well, no, because you have to figure it's probably still underground.
Yeah.
So it has to be a part of a basement or some part of the prison.
Yeah. Laundry room.
Yeah. Solitary confinement.
It's probably maintenance,
Yeah.
If anything, it's maintenance by now. That's what we use it for mostly, although we have most of it open as an exhibit, So.
And for everybody knows, that is one place that you guys get to explore when you come to Glore is the tunnels. There is 2 tunnels there to explore.
So at the end of that tunnel that doesn't line up directly, that wall there, I know you can walk to the end. I don't think we did Or no, we did.
We
Because
did.
There
That's
was a
the
wall
that's
that has
the
a
wall that
hole.
has the paintings on the wall, correct?
Yeah.
That lines up to the prison.
Yeah, the other one, we actually did walk to the end.
Yeah, we
and
walked
there's
in,
just a
made a
hole.
right into
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
never mind. I was going to ask where it led to, but now I remember. It was just a hole in the wall
Yeah.
that we looked through, and then we didn't see anything.
No,
Yeah,
we walked
that's
back.
it.
Yeah. At the end of the Woodson Tunnel are two pathways off to the right before you go through the double doors. And I mean, I've never gone in there personally, but I know that lots of folks go in there. So it's pretty spooky down there, and you can get lost. So, yeah.
I bet.
Well, that's adventure. No, just joking. So, so you said it was an actual that you was at one time before it was a museum. It was the actual hospital.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly. The building with the tunnel system that's connected is 1927, right? So St. Joseph in the 1920s. I have seen the newspapers. I read them every day. I've lived here all my life. Was like a kind of Las Vegas, and the state hospital would have been out in the countryside, and the kind of people that they would have been sending there would have been immigrants. There were 3,000 patients at the state hospital in the 1920s, and about 18 nurses. That was the biggest issue that they had.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, they had administrators and they had doctors, but we're talking about actual nurses who were really in charge of the daily work. And so they would have been, obviously in the 1927 building. And of course, the main museum is all in the 1968 building. It's a different story in 1968, but right beside it all. Yeah. Yeah. And it's all connected. And so you'll get to see both sides. You'll get to see both buildings and most floors of both buildings. So
now we couldn't. Did we go to the second floor on the second building?
Doug tried to take us up there, but I think the door was locked or something at the time.
Yeah.
Because remember, he's
true.
like, "Oh, let me show you something cool," and we went through the door up the staircase, and then we tried to get in, and it was locked or something.
Yeah, so we haven't been up in the second floor or anything. Now, how many floors are in the 68 building, the main museum?
Yep. So that has 4 floors. It has a basement, which has the morgue and the autopsy room down there, which was a very busy morgue, through its existence, and all the way up until it was used in 2004. They actually used it until 2004. And the last family that was in, it was an entire family that was in the morgue. The very last one. Yep. They were, as I understand it, and I mean this with all due respect, but I believe that they were murdered, not far from here. And the psychiatric hospital at the time was used as an emergency service for those kinds of episodes. And so that was the last family that was in there.
I didn't realize it was like that recent, 2004.
2004, yeah, that's pretty recent.
And I recommend, if you can remember this when you get there, and maybe I'll remember to tell you, but down in the basement there is a little narrative set up on the stool, and it describes it in a little bit further detail and gives some more details if you want to go searching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know all about that basement area.
Yeah. The morgue is really something,
Yeah. I mean, for it being such a busy morgue, there's only 4 slabs there. There's only 4.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's why it was so busy, because boy, I mean, it was just like, constant rotation, because there's only 4.
Yeah.
One autopsy table.
One autopsy table. Yeah. Is Ronaldo still there?
Nobody knows him as Ronaldo there.
So the mannequin that's on the table, we call him Ronaldo. I gave him the name Ronaldo.
That makes sense. He deserves a name like that. That makes sense.
So if you've ever watched one of our videos, if you ever get time, there's a whole segment on Ronaldo of, because she's like, last time she's like, oh, you guys can get on the table and lay on the table and everything. And so we had to take Ronaldo off the table. And I was just hanging out with him, like, he's my buddy. Me and him were just standing there watching people and stuff. So there's a whole big old funny thing about Ronaldo.
we like went upstairs and we're like, oh, his name's now Ronaldo. And she's like, Ronaldo? His name's like
Steve.
yeah, Steve. And I was like, nah, Ronaldo's better.
Ronaldo's better.
Yeah, there's, I bet you throughout history, there's been a variety of names. And
yeah, probably. Because it has an identity
He's so
crisis.
real life. He's so real life too, man. He's got hair and mustache, and it's kind of
Doesn't know what his name is.
Yeah, poor guy don't know what his name is. He's like, I just keep going to get all kinds of names.
But yeah, we went there, and I think like when we walked through, the last floor I remember was the one that had like the dungeon that you can walk in. So I don't know if that was the last floor you can go on or not.
Sure,
that and the cigarette packs.
That's the second floor.
Yeah.
I think that was the second floor.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, so we didn't get up to the third floor then.
No.
It's good to be disoriented, though. I'm glad to hear that you were disoriented because that's the experience you should be having.
Yeah. That's that one room that had all the different medical things they try to cure people with.
Yeah.
In the old days.
The dungeon.
The old-fashioned ways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of creepy to know that they were trying to put people through that stuff. Was kind of weird.
It's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't go up to the third floor then.
Well, no, and I mean it's because it's our event. So at that time, we made sure to go down and check on our guests, make sure they were doing okay.
Yeah.
And then I think that from there is when we went down to the morgue, and we just didn't have enough time because Ronaldo fulfilled all that.
Yeah.
The rest of the evening, we didn't have enough time to go back up.
Yeah.
So it'd be exciting to go through, and because I mean the stuff that we did explore, I mean we looked at it all, but we tried to make sure to like go through it quickly so we can try to get to everything. So I'm really excited to go back and explore those other floors.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are going to spend some time here, so it looks like you'll have quite a bit of time for that, I think. And of course, you're talking about the original Glore Museum when you're talking about those old medical instruments. Yeah. And that is the original Glore Museum. And what's magical is that the patients built those things. And so they got to spend time thinking about, what it would have been like to be a medical patient in the 17th century while they were putting those items together for us. So such a cool, mystical experience when you're in that room, if you're being honest,
Yeah. And like some of those exhibits, like the cigarette pack, when the patient was trying to get the wheelchair and believed he could save, what was it, like
15,000 cigarette packs or something like that?
Crazy like that.
It's a pretty big number, but I'll wait and let you see how big the number is when you get here. But that person was a patient, of course.
Yeah. That was amazing. Like you guys have all those cigarette packs still in that big chicken wire thing in the corner. It was just like,
and then of course, crazy. Like, we were standing there reading that, and then like the further we just kept getting down, it was just like, oh my god, like, and it's right in front of you too. It's not like you're just reading something without being able to see exactly what it's describing. Like once you see that and then read, it's like it's incredible.
Can you imagine finding it? Because that's really what happened. Those guys went in and looked as they were moving across the street. They were like, what's all this stuff? And they found it,
And I don't know if were they all banded together when they found them, or were they literally just everywhere?
I believe they were together 100%.
Okay. Maybe a little easier then, but still
that's
quite a sight to see.
Had them all stashed somewhere.
Yeah. By that era, everything had changed at the hospital, of course, and people were much nicer to the patients, and they were much more caring. Well, I can't say much more caring, but they were much more like open to their ideas. Like in the 19th century, had you tried to do that, they would have just beat you senselessly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Luckily, that guy was collecting packs in the 70s.
Yeah. They probably would have just took them all and threw them away on the person, and
Oh yeah, no question about it. But by the 70s. And by the era of George Glore, where the Psychiatric Museum gets its name, is a whole new era of an understanding of mental health, which is the true story that we're trying to tell. And I think it's worth saying, as we're discussing all this paranormal stuff, that the real story is not the creepy one, but that it ends in occupational therapy and in art and in music, and some aspects of they were locking up artists, they were locking up brilliant people. And so that's part of the story that we're trying to tell at the museum. I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
I mean, we the music room was the one that we went into as well.
Yeah.
What was the other room that we went into?
Well, I did all of them on the second floor. We went to the little church area, the music room.
Yeah, but then seeing some of those photos of
them doing the art.
and playing the instruments and stuff like that was really cool.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's the era that that I like to discuss, where we start seeing high school students come in and they're volunteering in the kitchen, and the doctors and the administration are playing in the bands too. You know, it's not just patients, but everyone is entertaining it. So it's just a cool moment. Yeah.
And that. So I have to ask, everybody questions. So what's your favorite part of the building? Not paranormal wise. Yeah. Just not like, I mean, like you go through and you say, oh, that exhibit's pretty cool. Or, you know, this part of the building or.
Sure. I mean, well, some of the stories I've been telling you are certainly very dear to me, but I guess on the second floor is an important exhibit that you may not notice in the dark about Arthur Kraft, who was in the alcoholic ward in the 1970s, in 1971, actually. Now, he became quite a successful artist. I think that he was a writer for maybe Forbes or something like that, or Fortune, but he, had a lot of paintings, and we have some of his original paintings in the hallway up on the second floor. So if you can remember that when you get there, you should check them out. And we also give out some of his literature, which he wrote while he was in the hospital. You know, he didn't have a mental illness per se, but alcoholism is, a mental illness.
Yeah.
Right. So while he was there for the few weeks, he roamed around the hospital grounds and he drew pictures of the patients, and it's just outrageous. And he eventually published a book with the intention of saying, like, look, this is a book for anyone who can do anything about this problem that we're in. You know, he could recognize that still things weren't right when it came to mental health. And so he wrote that book with that intention, and he wrote beautiful things about the patients that he saw. And one of those things we give out to our visitors, almost every day. I mean, I probably give out 20 of those things a week myself. So, yeah.
It's a very cool with the paintings, giving an actual visual and a name to some of those patients that people outside of that building on a daily basis wouldn't be able to see or understand or hear their story or something like that. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no question about it. That is, and if you can remember, his book is open to the preface where he is describing the reason why he wrote the book, and it's worth a read. It's a very nice read.
Yeah. It's not only you hearing his story, it's you seeing his story, and that's, as a visual learner, that's like my favorite part about the museum is you're able to see all of it.
And it makes it about the patients, because at the end of the day, beyond the ghosts or whatever is going on there, we call it paranormal or whatever, because something's going on there, y'all. I don't know what it is, but the patients also have real stories, real lives, and we don't want to totally forget that, and we don't want to mock them, Yeah.
Now, with that comment he just said, I got to ask you, do you believe in the paranormal?
That was,
This is one of my favorite questions, because let me explain that I give lots of tours, and I host the paranormal events. So I'm scared of ghosts or whatever. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to think about my favorite way to answer it, but obviously one of the coolest questions that science can't answer is, why the experience at all? Why are you having this experience? And then, since it can't answer that question, then it means that we don't know what's going on at all. So we don't have a choice. The whole thing is a paranormal event. That's what I would say.
Somebody asked me that the other day. They're like, but like when you go to a location, like why are you experiencing that? I'm like, if I had that question, I wouldn't be doing what I was doing. I wouldn't be working at a grocery store. I'd be speaking somewhere.
People always ask you that, and I'm like, if I could get a ghost to come down and have an interview with me or a spirit, my job would be over. I got to answer all my questions, you know.
I'd still explore, but yeah, I mean.
All right, so lead up to that. So you're on the scientific side of it, which is understandable.
Oh no! It's not a scientific side. Let me explain. I'm saying simply that science cannot explain
that. Okay.
what we're all doing here.
Yeah,
we just cannot.
Right.
And it never will be able to. I don't know if people know this. Isaac Newton said very clearly that reality is absurd. This is a huge thing. This is a huge deal. He says that. You know, this is the guy who wrote calculus.
Yeah.
So
reality that leads up to. What's your weirdest experience that you've had at the museum?
Sure. So it's a little bit hard to describe because it's kind of to do with where I was standing and stuff, you know, but I'll do my best. I had a small paranormal group of 7. It was obviously a private group. And we meet, of course, in the conference room, which is at the other end of the hall, which is a pretty good length away. And so that's where everyone congregates. So as we are leaving the admissions desk to go across to the old building to the tunnels, I see one of them go to the bathroom. And so we cross the side and we're in the dark and we're getting ready to go in the tunnel. And they say, okay. And I said, well, we're just going to wait for the person to get back in the bathroom. And they say to me, oh no, we're all here. So I think, oh, okay, sure. So they go into the tunnel. I go back over to the admissions desk. An hour goes by probably. And as I'm searching on the newspapers.com, I'm looking for something entirely unrelated to the Glore. I'm looking for some history that I'm working on. And of course, I run into a story about a woman, no kidding, from 1891, who is picked up near the river in a carriage and carried here to the state hospital. And then just a few minutes later, the folks want to go up to the second floor. So this is all in the same night. So I walk around to the admissions desk. I'm looking down the hall at the conference room, and one of them is in there, of course, because we're congregating, and he's looking back at me. They get in the elevator. I take the stairs. I meet them on the second floor, and they all come out of the elevator. And y'all know how far that conference room is from the elevator. So, I mean, yeah. I saw 2 people, 2 apparitions in one night. So that's definitely one of my most
impressive. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like, hey, you gotta wait for that guy who went to the bathroom.
They're like, we're all here.
We're all here, man. What are you talking about? We're like, okay.
Oh my God. You know, I wrote it off like, okay, it was me. I was the one who didn't see it, you know? Like, okay.
And then it happens again. You're like, all right, maybe I did.
Yeah, because that is from the conference room is all the way down to the hallway. So you got to walk past like the gift shop, the steps, the church steps or whatever and all that. Yeah.
The entrance steps.
Well, and then, you know, you have to wait on the elevator and it's pretty, you know, it's not old, but it's 1968. You know, so.
Wow, that's crazy. Now I'm guessing you hear things and stuff when you're there.
The first month that I was there in this year, I opened up one morning and on my way to into my office, which is behind the admissions desk, a jewelry case just flew onto the floor. On my very first experience. And, you know, of course you're like, whatever, you know, what could it mean? It just fell off accidentally or whatever. So, but yeah, you hear stuff, you know, lights switch on and off, rocking chairs move, locks get turned.
All right, here's a cure thing. Has the elevator ever moved and gone by without nobody?
I mean, hard to say. I mean,
I mean, like if you're sitting at the administration building and there's nobody at the desk, and all of a sudden, ding, the doors open and close, and then the elevator moves to another floor.
Certainly,
I'd be like,
Certainly.
All right, come on now.
I guarantee that's happened tons of times. And who could even say? I mean, yeah, who could even say? Yeah.
It's all about who's there at the right time.
Yeah.
To me, it would be like all of a sudden you hear the elevator like come from another floor, and then all of a sudden you're like ding, and the door starts. You're like, wait to see who walks out the door.
I play the freeze game like.
we're busy all day long, so we hear the elevator, and it's just like
a second thing to you guys.
Yeah.
Not even to pay attention to whether somebody got off or not.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
I was trying to.
You got any questions?
I was say if anybody in our chat also has a question, I'm going to the chat now.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and get them ready. Jules said, "How cool community coming together to make art." 1970 was not so long ago. Kathy said 70 and 80s are the best.
Yes.
She had one that says, "Jerrad, have you ever felt scared while at Glore?"
Every day. I live in a building from 1904, not very far from the main house, but we also have a mansion, you guys know, from 1879 that's just one block from me, which is also very active. But I'm just scared. I'm scared right now.
We've been there.
Scared.
Have we?
Thankfully, you guys are here with me, so I don't feel very scared.
Root Turtle.
Yep. YF2.
Oh,
Tudo. They have that too. Yeah.
That.
We had been there before we came to Glore.
Mm-hmm.
We were there last year or so.
Cool.
Which is another cool museum.
Yeah.
The room full of ducks.
I don't know how this whole investigation just skipped my mind, but yeah, now I remember the whole third or second floor is
third floor.
Yeah. Come on, second floor is a big lion.
Yeah.
In the case right there.
Yeah, I don't know how I forgot about that.
Spooky in there too.
Yeah, we had some really good event. We had some good activity that night in that mansion.
Well, and for me, when I started to investigate, it was cool. I just want to see ghosts. I want to see creepy stuff. But then the amount of places that we go to, like Glore, Waverly, and all these other hospitals, even just Ashmore, the poor farms and stuff like that. And now to me, it's more it's really cool to learn the history and know that the location I'm standing in, because I feel like it's very easy to forget that it's a real place.
It's got history.
People have been there. You're standing in the same spot that other people have been in. That it may have been an unfortunate time, but learning that and being there, it's definitely been a lot cooler.
Yeah.
And then Rachel did say he actually got a wheelchair from the nurses when we were talking about the cigarette packs as well.
Yeah, that tells you on the thing that they actually got him. I think it was $24,000 he ended up saving or something like that. He saved over more than what he was supposed to.
Yeah,
I know I probably got the number wrong, but it's still in that. That's a lot.
It's a crazy amount. More packs of cigarettes than I've seen in my lifetime.
I will put it that way. Yeah,
in one container.
Yeah, that's a lot of pack of cigarettes.
Have you ever ran out or wanted to quit?
No, I really love the museum.
I was gonna say. I would say.
You get scared.
He's like, nah, I really love that job.
Yeah. No, well. Look, I mean, I really love the museum. I love the history, but I run out every day. I run all the time. Actually, I'll be running when you guys are there on Saturday. And there's video of me running constantly. Yes.
You're like,
I don't know what running does. It just runs you into more ghosts faster, right?
You're like I am. I'll be honest. I go investigate, and I'm cool about going by myself to something go get something, and everybody's on the second or third floor, and I go down to the bottom floor. But it just, to me, it always feels like something's right behind me when I'm walking. I'm walking out, or we're locking up the doors to go out of a place or something. It's like something's right behind you, just kind of tallying behind you. I'm like, okay. I start walking faster. Like, don't look. Just lock the door and leave. I'm like, don't look.
Keep your head down.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of video of Jerrad with his head down, just getting to the door and locking it.
Hey, there's video of Jerrad doing things you won't believe, like flying, just flying.
I can't imagine being in that building. I give you credit because you work there and you do that. And some of these caretakers that we go to other buildings that are in like, they're like, oh, I just walk around. I'm like, I can't bring myself to walk around all day in a haunted place and just be like, hey guys, what's going on? The ghost comes and touches you on the shoulder or something. And you're like, hey,
I mean, if you're there enough and you learn kind of about each spirit and stuff like that, I'd imagine at some point you get comfortable with it. But to us, it's just like, how are you doing that? Because we're there for a night or a weekend or something like that. Yeah.
And you're there every day.
Yeah.
With 2 days off at that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like I speculate, we speculate what's going on and we speculate, and we hope that it's okay. That's what I hope. I'm like, I just hope these guys like love me at least.
Just making sure to do everything to not piss them off. Just make it aware.
I think they like that I run. That must be fun.
Let's see. What does your family think about where you work?
That's an interesting question. I think they're fascinated. Same as me, same as everyone. Yeah. It's a fascinating place because, you have to ask big questions there, and the big questions get asked there, and no one can tell you don't get to ask them there. And so everyone wants to know, are there ghosts? Everybody asks. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter how much you think you understand about what's going on. And that's so cool. God, that's so cool. So yeah, my family's just fascinated. That's what I would say.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Let's see. Kathy has asked, have you ever been touched by someone or something? That's two different questions.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta think now, because you do go to the White, right? The Toodle.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to two different haunted locations, not just one. He's in two different haunted locations.
Yeah,
man. And the mansion nobody wants to be alone at, like no one.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
a little weird.
Yeah,
that's pretty spooky place to be at. I mean, even though it's a museum, but it was once where someone lived. Yeah. Like you said, there's someone had a family there, and and actually lived there and stuff like that. But it does have a lot of weird, because it's agricultural museum.
Well, it's a 19th century museum, so we're exploring the people who built it. And so you're right. It's got a lot of spooky stuff going on. It's 1879, which is just actually the same year that the state hospital is rebuilt due to the fire, if you remember. So the mansion and the state hospital come up at the very same moment. And here's something to consider. And I think it's a fun little piece of history. Jesse James isn't killed until 1882. So the mansion and the lunatic asylum are already up. And, they maybe even heard the gunshot that killed Jesse James from the mansion. The people who were living.
Wow.
Yeah.
People, put that in this perspective of those dates. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. They could have captured his ass and put him in the lunatic asylum too, if they ever captured him. I couldn't think about that. That's crazy too.
And if obviously you guys have social media, I follow it and see all the wonderful history photos and stuff like that. It's posted on there. If you want to tell people where you can find that, any social medias, websites, Facebook or whatever.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You mean ours?
Yeah.
Yep. So St. Joseph Museums, number one. And of course, Glore Psychiatric Museum has its own Facebook and Instagram, and it's very busy. I think they post every day. And the Wyeth Toodle Mansion also posts almost every day, especially in the season because it's a seasonal one. And then the St. Joseph Museums will post about most all of our events, including paranormals. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got a big one coming up in October, which is actually your own Glore ghost hunt overnight thing. I believe I saw on Facebook.
Yeah,
they're gonna have the Clue game and everything.
I want to go to one of those the murder mystery dinners.
Yeah, that's what they're
Mhm.
having, that murder
Yeah.
mystery kind of thing.
Wanna go
That
on those.
overnight.
Yeah.
And
That'd
that.
be kind of cool.
Yeah, because I think who was the lady that was there with us last time? Was it Kimmy?
Cammy, yes, and
Cammy,
she'll be around this time. Yep, and she's doing the overnight stuff too. So,
So you won't be there Saturday?
oh no, I'll be there Saturday.
Oh, okay. There was somebody walked in the back of his picture there. I was like, "Hey, you brought somebody home with you."
That's my girlfriend. She just walked in the door. I didn't have
Like,
time to tell her that I was doing this.
Like, hey, you brought somebody home from work with you there.
Stacey asks, is there any other place that you like history or tour wise?
I want to say, Kathy, I don't think I've been touched by someone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. We forgot Kathy's thing. Sorry.
I haven't been touched by someone, Kathy, but I have been asking not to be touched, as I understand you can do that. So, but maybe someone can convince me why I might want to be. Anyway, is there any other place you like? Oh yeah. I mean, here in St. Joseph, or
Just in
anywhere?
general.
Or just in general, like
Just in general.
like your let's say like your bucket list. Like if you had one place anywhere in the world, history wise or tour wise, to go to, where would you go?
Well, I'll be honest, and I think it's worth sharing that I worked in the Gulf Coast for a long time in Panama City Beach. I was a boat captain on a tour boat, and we swam with dolphins every day. We did snorkeling, and we're only 4.5 hours away from New Orleans down there. So that's not very far if you're going to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because if you leave at 7 a.m., you're there at noon. And so New Orleans is just a lovely, such an old place. You can feel it right when you walk in, and they have old buildings just standing everywhere, and they're just so old, even older than the buildings that we have here. And we have some very old buildings. So, this city's relationship with New Orleans in the 19th century, in the period of the asylum and stuff, would have been heavily connected. We were getting oysters, fresh oysters every day up the Missouri River. All of the saloons downtown in that era would have been serving fresh oysters, which is just such a cool aspect. So,
New Orleans is pretty cool.
Yeah, when we went, we did. Of course, we went to Bourbon Street, but the neighborhoods that were
we went to French Quarter too.
Yeah, the neighborhoods that are around there, and seeing the designs of the houses and just the neighborhoods and stuff like that. We were there for a certain reason to see WrestleMania, but I want to go back for sure and visit the.
We weren't doing the ghost thing back then. We went back in
2019.
The 18.
Yeah.
Yeah,
18,
2018. Yeah. So we weren't doing the paranormal thing, but I think it would have been a total different thing if we were in the paranormal thing by that time back then.
Oh, yeah.
To go down there, but we weren't really into it. So, but just seeing like you said, the history, the old buildings, and just the old, just everything around there, the cemeteries and stuff like that. It's really fascinating.
Yeah,
totally. What city are you all in right now?
St. Louis.
So you probably know, right? The Roubidoux were from St. Louis, right? Joseph Roubidoux is the reason why we have our city. And then let's be honest, this is old Louisiana, all the way up to here. This is old Louisiana. So, Napoleon owned New Orleans, and then everything up to here, including all of our area, the famous Platte Purchase or whatever. But yeah, we're in old Louisiana. The connection is huge. I love that.
Just think about how different St. Louis could have been, just like with any change of event in history. How different
I mean, we were a big export deep because we had the river. We were right on the river, Mississippi and the Missouri River. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's a big part of the history of our. I mean, even go into the part of Zombie Road, where that river, the Indians and stuff took stuff off that road, which probably came from New Orleans and down that,
Oh, exactly. I mean,
everybody down that way. Yeah.
Everybody's going everywhere by then. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were all over.
Julia said you seem chill. I can't see you running out of there.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm sure they respect you when we were talking about the respect thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for that.
Smoke, this menu comes up. Has anything ever followed you home on the topic of somebody behind you? Has anything ever followed you home from Glore that you've noticed?
Yeah, that's a cool question. Thanks for asking.
As he looks around the room.
Well, we did have an experience here at the house. We saw a blacker than black being at the end of the bed, and we just went back to sleep. And we didn't feel scared. So did it follow us home from the Glore? I don't know. I will tell you, after my very first paranormal, this is so exciting because I'm realizing that I get to plug myself. I'm a musician, so I'm going to tell you.
Go.
Plug away.
Perfect.
So, after my very first paranormal, I was sleeping at my girlfriend's place, and in the middle of the night, I woke up because I heard a voice in my head say, "Where are you?" And a very deep, like Hollywood-esque, scary type of way, like, "Where are you?" Like super dark. And I woke up out of bed, and I'm like, thank God I'm like over there and not here when that happened. And so, but I wrote a song about it. And it's kind of a cool song because I improvised it from beginning to end. I had never heard the song before, and I don't even know how I did it. And I try to write a lot of songs like that, but I wrote it with my friend inside of the Wyeth Tootle Mansion. Actually, I have a recording
Oh wow.
on the internet. If anyone's interested, I can send it in the chat. I would love for you to hear it. Actually,
Yeah, this is all your time to advertise. Go on, you can put it in there.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and everything. Yeah, everybody can check it out and everything and stuff. So
The fact that
You
they
know
went
all
back
about
to bed,
shadows and beds.
yeah, we all know about shadows and beds.
Oh, you know.
Yeah. So can you guys corroborate like what you think was going on in that situation?
Well, let me tell you, Jerry.
Go ahead.
My incidents with my shadow in my bed was we were at everybody in the chat's probably heard the story, but McIntyre Villa in Atchison, Kansas, which is not far from St. Joe. It's like 40-minute drive
Oh, sure.
and stuff. We were at the McIntyre Villa there, and we had spent the night. We don't usually spend the night at haunted locations. Like, we investigate all night, but then we go home. We don't stay the night. And the light went out.
Keeps going off and on.
So we stayed the night there the first time, and we were in the kids' room, and Zach and Madison were sleeping on the floor. I was sleeping on one of the beds, and the other guy that was with us was sleeping on the other bed. And I had really not had fallen asleep. But to give hindsight real quick, we had asked, it was so quiet in the room, we asked the other guy to turn on something so we could hear, and so it wasn't just quiet. So he turns on white noise, which that's how ghosts communicate through people, is white noise. So everybody falls asleep, and I really am that REM state. I'm not really sleeping, but I know that I'm not sleeping type thing. And at one point in time, I open my eyes and I see this huge black shadow standing over me, like reaching to grab my shoulders. And I scream like a little girl. And like I let out a scream, and I closed my eyes and I went back to sleep. Well, I thought it was a dream, and I didn't know, I thought it was a dream until we woke up, and the guy next to me goes, "God, what the hell happened to you last night?" He goes, "You screamed so loud." Like, and I was like so worried. I said, "Well, did you check on me?" He's like, "No, I was scared." And I had my head over my covers. I was like, I could have been murdered and you guys would have known and stuff. But yeah, I've had to deal with the whole shadow thing and sleeping. I just went back to sleep. I just closed my eyes, kind of like you guys did. You kind of just close your eyes and just, if it's going to get me, it's going to get me.
Well, here's the thing. When you say that, I'm saying that like normally I would have done what you were talking about. But in our case, we just like went immediately right back to sleep, like felt no fear at all, which was unusual because like I can hear a noise like or a rainstorm and we're out of bed like karate people, so
well, you're braver than I am, Jerry. I screamed like a little girl.
Well, here's why I'm bringing that up is that I think the question came up and it was like if someone followed me home or whatever, but like what if the ghosts do follow us home, or what if there are ghosts, and what if they're like not that big of a deal, or what if they like are curious and whatever. But I don't know. I guess I'm just saying like maybe it was no big deal because we felt comfortable about it or something.
Yeah.
To tell you a story about following ghosts home, though, one of my friends, she was at LOE or Melbourne. I think she was at the Melbourne and she came home. She's like us. She works. You might know Abby from GHU. She's been at Glore a couple times doing their events. She knows who you are. So she went to Melbourne, and she said she came home, and she was her daughter said that her daughter kind of screamed and said, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "There's an old man standing at the end of the hallway in the hospital gown." And she was like, "What?" And her daughter's like, "Yeah, I walked out of my room and there was an old man standing down in the hallway." So she's like, "Well, damn, he must have came with us, from Melbourne." And she's like, he would turn the lights off, her daughter would leave the lights on, he would turn it, go on. So eventually she just said, "Hey, I'm going back to Melbourne, get in the car." And she was actually going to Eloise, and she kind of stopped by Melbourne because it's on the way. And she's like, "Here you go home." And she said she's never seen it ever since. The lights don't go off no more, nothing. Like, she told it to go home. And so, I mean, if you're going back and forth, you got someone that comes to your house, you just say, "Hey, get in the car, let's go. We're going back home." Go back to Glore. Go back.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I mean, I guess they could follow you home. I mean, knock on task or whatever. We haven't had anything so far.
Exactly. I mean, I will say that a lot of the great ghost hunters that I've met all tell me that, you can just ask them not to do it or whatever. So
that's kind of what we do. We spray ourselves with some cleansing spray, and then we're like, "Thank you for letting us come to your house and everything, but you have to stay here."
Yeah.
But we do forget sometimes. It's late at night, and next thing you know, we're halfway home. We're like, damn, we forgot to cleanse ourselves.
You're at the Waffle House and you're like, "Oh."
That's great. We used to go to Waffle House.
That was our spot.
Yeah, that was our ghost hunting spot after ghost hunting, Waffle House.
Yeah.
We need to get
That's a big thing in the Gulf Coast.
Quick shout out here to
Philly.
Philly. Thank you for tuning in, Philip.
He's from the West Coast.
We have caught up to all the questions. I did post that link in the chat, so it's going to show up on our Facebook and YouTube.
Okay, cool. Thank you guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope everyone enjoys that, and just know that it was made with love and improvisation and pure spookiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the blues, probably.
Any other questions?
All right, here's your thing. You're a paranormal. You do the paranormal. Is there anything, we ask you your history of where you want to go for history. What was your bucket list for paranormal? If you have one.
No, I mean, I certainly do. Jeez Louise. It's a little complicated, and I'm afraid just to jump right in. So let me be not complicated. But I will say that I've not yet been to the Sally House in Atchison, and I know that it's a big destination for paranormals. Have you all been to the Sally House?
No,
been close to it.
Close to it.
Yeah, it's in Atchison. So I'm curious as to the nature, but I will say that St. Joseph has a lot of paranormal houses. I was just down at Magoon's, which I recommend everybody to go see. Such a cool spot. Really, truly a 19th century place. Still a Jewish deli, open in the daytime only until 3, and then it's a neighborhood bar with live music, good live music. But I was just over there talking to some dude, and he's like, "Yeah, I own a house just over the corner here." And he's like, "I had some tenants not very long ago. They had to move out." He's like, "I know. I didn't tell him, but I know. It's haunted. It's haunted. It's haunted. You gotta move out." I mean, so Saint Joseph is so special. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna plug myself one more time, and I really truly
go on.
This one means a lot to me. I wrote this about our city from the 1920s, but our city is old and weird and spooky, and there's just not enough to be said about it without like going on and on. But I've seen the old papers, and I've been writing and looking, and so it's so exciting.
I got a question for you. Since you do history with St. Joe, and I don't know how far is St. Joe and Atchison, Kansas, like built wise? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know probably St. Joe was first moving that way, and then Atchison, Kansas was built. I was just how close they are, because they're kind of built the same way. All those big buildings 100%. Are on hills. They're
Yes,
like
very
really
good
up
question.
on hills and stuff.
Absolutely. Hold on one second. I have to say, yes, Atchison is a territory in 1855. St. Joseph is a city in 1844, 43. So by
Okay.
1855, Atchison is a territory. 1860 is a Civil War. Atchison territory is essential to the Civil War. It's actually, if you go look at the old newspapers, they are just pounding out the conspiracies. I mean, they have all kinds of conspiracies about how the federal government's coming to take everything, and it's just wild. But yeah, so that's about the time that Atchison gets started, and it's set up like that. You know, you mean on the bluffs? Is that what you mean? Like it's kind of designed on the river?
Well, no, like Toodle's like up on the hill. Like
Yes.
the big people, the rich people always built their houses like up on the hills, looking down on everybody else. And Atchison's kind of that way. Like McIntyre Villa is on the hill; it sits up on that hill of the city.
Sure.
You know, in that way. I don't know if those are considered the bluffs or anything like that.
They are totally.
You know,
they're 100% the Los Bluffs. Yes, 100% they're the Los Bluffs, and Atchison is so special. That's actually, you know, right on the top of the hill is Amelia Earhart's childhood home. Okay, and
Right.
she can walk out her front door and see the river, but from pretty high up. It makes you wonder. Like it makes a person wonder if that did not influence her relationship with flying, because I mean her childhood home until she's about 11 was just as high above the river as you could possibly be on a bluff. I mean, it's so cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, it was beautiful. You know, you were saying something about the rich people above the others or whatever. I don't know exactly if that I can interpret it that way right now. I mean, they were definitely above others, but I think they were doing it because it was a beautiful scenic experience.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense then. I mean, it was just weird about how you look with the mansions, where the mansions are built in St. Joe compared to like in Atchison. They're, you know, like you said, on the hops, the highest points of the cities that they're at and everything.
Well,
Sure.
It's like when we were at Beatty and we were talking to her about that, about how he died, well, how they think it was with the water system, because he was always drinking water at his office, which was below level of the mansion.
But
It was down, downhill and stuff like that. And when you walk out up to the front porch of Beatty and look out, I mean, you could just see everything.
yeah, they're
'Cause
all on
it's
top of.
so it's so high.
I mean,
up
that's
there.
another St. Joe thing too, is Beatty Mansion.
Yeah.
That's another big place in there, which is, you know, that's right down from Toodle though. That's not far from Toodle.
There's nothing really far from anything when you're from 22nd Street to the river.
Yeah.
Everything is very close, basically. Yeah, that was the whole city for most of the, main period.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Rachel asks, does he know about the Vineyard Mansion and Carriage House?
I believe I know what you're talking about. Vineyard Mansion, like in St. Joseph, probably in Museum Hill or something. Yeah.
Never heard of those.
I never heard those either.
Yeah. And we got people already seeing your lyrics to the song
Yeah.
there.
Yes. That's so cool. Thank you guys.
And then I believe I posted the second one here too as well. The one that you
Thank
sent.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's a big one for me, because that's a story that people have ignored because Sylvester is black. If you read the story and cannot tell that he's black, I'm sorry for you, but he was living in St. Joseph in the 1920s, and he said it was like the nicest place ever, which is crazy to think about, because the Ku Klux Klan was very busy here in St. Joseph in the 1920s, so they just had a different way.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, so that's such a cool story, and people ignored it because it's a tough conversation that people don't want to have to talk about, But
And it's wild to think, like, I never really thought of that when your comment was that, like, St. Joe then was like Las Vegas, and hearing about like the saloons and stuff like that.
oh yeah,
And like being there now and seeing all the stores and gas stations and stuff like that, but picturing it as a completely different landscape back then. It's kind of cool to have that vision.
good word. Yes, totally different landscape. Yeah, totally different landscape. Yeah.
Crazy.
So Magoons, we gotta check that out. We got plenty of time Saturday to check things
Yes.
out. So we have to
Yeah,
go by there.
go say hi to Magoons. You know, I mean, I won't say it's the most welcoming place, but you might.
We might want to get there before it's a deli, before it becomes the bar. We might want to get there when it's the deli. The way he's talking, it might be a little safer with a deli.
Sure. No, it's a safe place, but it's just a funny place. Sure. Yeah. Anyway, cool.
Probably better than where we ate last time, which was Five Guys.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, at least it was that. I like those guys.
Was it Five
Yeah.
Guys?
I mean, it wasn't terrible, but you know,
Hopefully
we
they did
definitely
you
like
right.
to.
Is that what we
Yeah.
did? Five Guys? No,
Yeah.
we ate somewhere else before the last time in March.
No, when we went there, we had.
No,
Oh,
Five
actually,
Guys
yeah, I
was
don't
Beatty.
remember. Yeah, it's
Well,
always cool when we go to these places though to eat at a local
We went to the 777s
place.
on
Yeah,
between
that's right,
Atchison and St. Joe. We went there for it's a little hole in the, I guess it was a side little hometown bar there between Atchison and St. Joe.
Purely. Lots
Yeah.
of hometown bars out here.
Yeah, well, you know, because they were going to state. Remember, everybody was coming in the restaurant to watch the basketball team.
Oh yeah.
They're the city or whatever town we were in. They were in state. They were in the state championship.
Yeah.
And stuff. So, yeah, we like to venture out and give people. You know, I know like Five Guys and all that. We get that everywhere. You know, it's a corporate type restaurant. So if we can come across the mom and pop type restaurant or something like that, we love to try new things in different areas. So if you got any good restaurants in St. Joe to try, let us know. I mean,
hey, there are so many, y'all. You're gonna be here for a couple of days, right?
we'll be in Kansas City Friday,
Okay.
and then we drive up Saturday like at noon or so to St. Joe.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's quite a bit to see. A lot of good restaurants downtown, to be honest. I think you'll have some fun. You'll run into some cool stuff.
So you plugged all of the websites above, but being you're a musician as well, again, this is your time and your space to plug anything. You got YouTube, Spotify, like what you got?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
tapes.
I am right. I got you guys want to buy my mixtape?
When is someone coming to buy your mixtape?
So,
You know, this is your time. We give you this is your time to advertise yourself. You know, it's not always has to be about paranormal. We like to give back and pay it forward to people. And
I appreciate that. Well, honestly, it's a pleasure to hang out with you guys and talk to you about this stuff because I do really love my work. I won't call it my job. I'm going to call it my work. And tell you that I think it's important and stuff, and paranormal is important because it means that people are looking for the other side, which is important, and so on. And then to share with you my music and the stuff that I've been working on is awesome. I'm not a working musician right now, so there's not much to plug in that regard. But my girl and I do play, and we've got a gig. If you want to come to Amazonia, Missouri.
Amazonia, Missouri.
Can't say I've ever heard of where that's at.
Where is that?
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's someplace out there. You know what I mean?
It's out there.
Fair enough.
Down
Yeah,
there or up
exactly.
there. It's
It's
just
a
out there.
paranormal experience, man.
There you go.
There you go.
So yeah, but we book ourselves as the John Bon Dylans. So I'll just go ahead and say that right now. John Bon Dylans. We sing and play folk music. So
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
maybe you'll see us out there.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's got me curious now. Know where Amazonian there is.
Yeah.
Amazonia. Yeah, it's the fall
Amazonia.
festival in a small little community. But
Well, I'm always up for festivals.
yeah, they do a haunted cornfield in October. Of course.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A jump scare, right?
Say it again.
A jump scare.
Like a
Oh,
haunted
yeah.
house.
Like a haunted
For
house,
sure.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I think
Yeah.
we should do it, boys.
We should do it. What the
Yeah, that's
I do the real stuff. I don't do the fake stuff. Was there anything else you would like to say about Glore?
Well, guys, honestly, it's been such a pleasure. I can keep going all night. I'm just kidding. We should probably wrap up or whatever. But, I love our museum, and I can't wait to share it with you guys when you come on Saturday. And if you haven't bought a ticket or whatever, tell your friends. And there's some more tickets available, I heard. So come and have fun with us and run into something spooky, probably.
And even if you're not into the paranormal, like go take a tour to the location and look at
For sure.
everything because it's incredible. When we had the lights on, the little bit that we saw before we had to start our event. Yeah, it's to take everything in is incredible to see.
I wanted to ask you. I read something on the Facebook because I'm on your. I follow the whole Glore Safe Facebook, and like you said, every day they post something about Glore. And I read the article, and I didn't see it, but the lady that swallowed like 300 something nails.
Yeah.
And is there an actual exhibit of those?
Yep, totally. It's our most famous exhibit. And
Where was that at?
It's the Pica exhibit. It's on the second floor. As soon as you walk through the door into the second floor, you're going to take a right, and it's right there. And
we didn't see that last time we were there.
Well, it was dark too.
So. Oh yeah, it was dark too, so we probably missed it. I read that and I was just so amazed that she swallowed that many nails. Yeah. It was like, that's crazy.
So since we're on the subject, let me tell you that that exhibit is actually the feature of one of our main events right now, called The Murder at the Asylum. And so I just wanted to share that in the chat before we go too.
Yeah.
Murder at the Asylum is basically a clue game. And this actually is just going to be a link to the masquerade that we're having at the mansion, because we're also doing a murder mystery at the Wyeth Tula Mansion, and that will debut in September. And then you can do it anytime. You can book it as a private event. So if you wanted to do it as a birthday party or just for fun with your friends, or you could do it in the daytime when you're visiting. And I performed in it as one of the main characters, and I'll be performing live each time that somebody books it to have a live experience. So there's a lot going on at our museums. And so,
yeah, definitely follow the Facebook page. I mean, every day is a different story about the museum and stuff. So it's really cool and stuff, and even like Zach said, if you don't even like the paranormal, just go to Glore during the daytime at the museum just to check it out. It's just a great place to investigate, great place to explore and look.
Yeah, just soak it all in, because there's a ton of stuff
there. Yeah, and just to think at some of the stuff that they did, because you guys do show like lobotomy with how they set it up and what they would use, and just different things that shock treatment, just different medical wise that they try to cure the the mentally,
100%.
I mean, and it's just amazing to see the stuff. I mean, the huge light bright that Madison said it was for schizophrenia. But just all that stuff is really cool to look at. I'm a big thing about that. I love seeing weird stuff like that. So that was just like when we started walking through there, I was like, we totally forgot about investigating. We just started looking at all the exhibits and everything. It was really cool.
Yeah. There's a lot going on there. There's a lot of history in St. Joe, and St. Joseph is itself a paranormal experience, y'all. So come here, hang out with us, and see some spooks.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No.
Well, Jerrad,
everybody's all caught up.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on and spending a lovely evening with us.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
No,
sorry you called me on short notice. I thought for some reason we were going to do it on Friday, so no big deal.
And then we'll see you on Saturday.
Understood.
And everything. And I'm going to call you later on a little bit later after the podcast is over. I'm going to talk to you about a couple things.
Sure.
And everything, just to get some information and stuff. So with that, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You bet. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for the questions, y'all.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your night.
That was cool.
That was awesome.
I like that. That was awesome.
Definitely looking forward. I mean, even before this, whenever we had this booked to go back for another investigation, I was already ready to go just to see everything again. Aside from the whole Ronaldo and all that other
he started
stuff,
laughing like, did you see a look on his face at first? He was like, who's Ronaldo?
Mm-hmm. Start talking about the dungeons and I start giggling. I was like,
we're actually going to show you if everybody's kind of like, I know some people are probably honored, but I think we do have like, we'll show some of the videos and kind of go over the Glore stuff a little bit more that we did. I think you got the 7 video of
the only 3 videos we have are the 7 and then the 2 walkthroughs from TikTok.
Yeah, with TikTok, it shows you the whole Ronaldo thing. So the 7 thing is kind of cool. It is in the tunnel that he was talking to about that goes over to the school. And if you come to Glore, you'll see when you walk down the tunnel, it's kind of weird because they're like, oh, don't go over there. There could be squatters or things in that building. We have a safety lock on there, so you can't get in. And I was thinking like chain padlock. It's a plastic chair.
It's one of those school plastic chairs.
Yeah, it's one of the school plastic chairs just jammed in there sideways.
Not only squatters, but the pipes exploded, and they never went in and like actually cleaned up the location. So they were also worried for asbestos and mold and all that stuff as well.
And then the only thing they have in there is a chair that's lodged in between the door handles. I'm like
first thing in my head was like, I mean, I could just remove that, but
I'm like, who's gonna know?
Yeah,
they're not down there. Like you said, he sits at the desk, and
my doctor when I have mold in my lungs from
what's going on there.
No,
but we were going down the tunnel, and we like go down the tunnel, and then we make a right. And I guess those are the tunnels he's talking about to get lost in. We make the right, and we kind of go down a little further.
Yeah, because I would imagine that wall was put up just to keep you from getting lost.
But as we're coming back through, and you'll see in the video, I come through, then Zach comes next to me, Maddie comes out, and Doug's the last one that comes out. And Doug's like, I just heard a girl say 7.
We're all like,
and we're like, what? And he's like, yeah, a little girl said 7. And me and Zach are like, we're all looking at each other like we didn't hear nothing.
Looked at me, and I'm like, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, because the only girl that was there was Maddie, so, and that was like the school. It goes into the other part of the school, and we never heard it. And we just kind of blew off Doug like he was hearing things like, and then we went back and we and Zach were watching the footage of the video, and this is what we.
I haven't even pulled it up yet because you were talking, but to note on this as well is when we were doing this, we were doing a walkthrough. We weren't investigating, so we don't have equipment with us. We don't have
that's right.
Have a plasma box. We don't have a spirit box.
No.
The only things that we have are a flashlight, which I think we had 2. Doug had one, and somebody else up front had one. And then I have a camera just because I'm filming with an infrared light, which is why you're able to kind of see a little bit more in the dark. So, our phones, I don't think were even I don't think we had service in the tunnel.
No.
So they weren't on. There was nothing else that could possibly make noise when you hear this, and you hear it clear as day. It's not a question of, was that somebody's voice? It's a, who said that type thing.
It's different from my voice.
Yeah, because you had to say that because, like you said, I forgot to say that about the equipment because there's nothing down there to make that noise. I mean,
both of your guys' phones and my phone were upstairs because of the GoDaddy. So
that's right. Yeah, we were using that.
Yeah,
so
I don't think we had our phones on us. Yeah, so it's just weird. It's and the funny thing is that we blow it off because that was when we first started exploring, and then we went to the main part of the museum. So we didn't really think about anything. And then me and Zach are watching the footage and still not thinking about it. And so you see the video, and me and Zach kind of look at each other. We hear it like, holy crap, that's what Doug was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are going to see what our screen looks like here.
Yeah. Bunch of chaos.
Hey. I like how he goes like to like. Well, but you can see that's not funny, man.
Well, I can barely see.
7. 7. 7. 7.
So I heard a girl say 7. When? Just now. 7.
Yeah, Doug's face.
You can see my face in the corner going, what?
Yeah, I was like, I
I was
didn't hear
like-
nobody say nothing. It was
I'm
like,
So
Corner
first of
going-
all, I don't know if anybody could actually hear that. I shared the audio last time. People were saying I made sure to click the box this time, but last time people were saying they couldn't hear it. But apparently you can, because Jules said that doesn't sound like a human's voice. It sounds very animated. Yeah, and there's people on TikTok that say that she doesn't say 7, but we were trying to ask like, okay, then like what do you hear? I'm not calling you wrong,
Yeah.
but that's just what we hear. And then we were trying to figure out why they said 7. So I went first, and it sounds like, to me, it sounds like a younger woman, maybe, I don't know. And obviously the school door was to the right of where we
Mhm.
were, down the hallway a little bit.
Yeah.
So if they were learning to count or something, I mean, I have 7 on my neck. If they saw that, that was a possibility.
but you also got to say there was there were desks and everything
With
down
books.
that hallway where we come out. If you see on that, when we saw in the video, that when we come out and make a left, there are school desks and books and stuff sitting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So if there was a spirit sitting there, and like they did, they saw. It don't sound what? Oh,
It doesn't sound like a child.
No.
And
But the thing
yeah.
about it is we have no equipment down there.
Mm.
So what animated voice? What would have made that animated voice say 7?
Yeah.
And it's so funny. And what's weird about it is that me and Zach and Maddie didn't hear it.
No,
Doug walks out of the tunnel.
and when you watch the video, it sounds like it's standing in the middle of us 3.
Right.
Like, Doug's
Yeah.
so far behind us.
Yeah,
and
it
yet
don't
he's
even
the only
sound
one
like
that heard
it because Doug turns around and goes, "I heard 7." And he's looking
Down the
down the hallway
I,
and stuff.
I'm in the
So
corner going,
that's just. I mean, to us, it's weird that.
I don't know if Doug had his phone.
But Doug always has his phone on airplane mode too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
and we had our phones down there before, and I know that like I wasn't getting service, so I don't know who Doug has as a carrier. I don't know if he
yeah,
even had
but why would
service.
something come up to say? I mean, I
But
guess
we
if
would've
it's
heard
just
it
a,
then.
And you never know.
it's just weird. What to me about it, what's weird is that Doug says, "Oh, I heard a little girl say 7," and we didn't hear nothing. But then when we hear the video, it sounds like 7, not knowing that Doug said that because we weren't like, "Oh, here comes that part where Doug comes out of the thing and hears something." We were playing the video, watching it, and then all of a sudden it happened, and me and Zach kind of looked at each other like, "Oh shit, that's what Doug was talking about."
Mm.
So it wasn't like we were looking for those words.
Yeah.
And so that's just a whole weird. I don't know if
It's
it was something that
unexplainable.
was animated. It did it. The Doug could hear it the one time, and then it was on video.
And it wasn't like a whisper. It was loud in the video.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's.
I don't understand why we didn't hear that.
No.
I said it, and it's clear as day. Like most of these EVPs and stuff that we hear, sometimes I feel like we're grabbing to be like, well, it could have said this
Mhm.
or it could have said that, but like
Yeah.
as soon as when we heard that, it was 7.
Yeah, I don't understand how someone on TikTok said it don't sound like 7.
It might not to them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's kind of cool things you find out. That's that was one of the things at Glore that that kind of like got us. Something didn't happen right then and there, but we found out later. That was kind of cool.
Got us curious.
Yeah.
to
That
go
was
back.
that is really cool. Piece of thing because we all didn't hear it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But
All right. Well, I guess now it's time for
or no,
No.
Jesus. So if you guys want some entertainment, this is the kind of stuff that goes on
This is why we're.
when you come and hang out with us.
well, and again, backstory. You keep leaving out details. We were on a 3-day investigation
Well, that's
trip. So we done McIntyre,
Mhm.
then we went to Beatty. This was day 3 at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, like close to us being done.
This was still
With
winter
zero
time, so
amount of
cold.
sleep, back to back to back. It was a lot.
Yeah, just to let everybody know too, like when you do like a one night thing, like some people go out and do a one night, they're like, oh, okay, you have a little hangover. Then you have a 2-night event, like when you used to work for the old company. And next year we're probably going to dabble in 2-night events and stuff. That's a big hangover because, you guys go home. We have to go home. We have to try to calm ourselves down, sleep, get up, go to the event again the second night and everything. So like Zach, 3 nights in a row, that's pretty sleep deprived on that one because, you don't get a lot of sleep. But, 3-night is, that was quite
That was rough.
that was a lovely
At
adventure.
least we got to sleep on a bed. Me and Zach had to sleep on the first night.
Yeah, that wasn't my idea. That was Doug's idea to stay there. I went back to the bed and breakfast.
No more.
Look at that top photo. They're just dumping it all mustachio there.
That's
Mustachio.
the blood pressure. I think that's better
You made me laugh, man. Sorry.
Take a bath, Mario.
Mario, let's take a bath. Hey, Doug, Zach, you can go in there?
Yeah.
Here, I'll let you in there.
Come on, my people.
Ooh, why did you get half a mannequin?
Just me chilling with my.
It's my ladies.
Why
are you grabbing me?
She's giving me the side eye.
She's got her hand on here. Oh, what you got there, lady?
Shackles.
You got some shackles. Oh,
Not an effective way to.
what's wrong with Betty down here?
Why is there just straw in here?
Because it used to be like that, I think. Looks like Mary.
She did.
You little bitch.
Hey,
Doug. Don't want me.
You know how we didn't come for you? We really didn't mean it. Hey, don't forget we have the key.
Eventually, you're gonna have to let us out. We got the keys.
If I had that many ties.
Oh my gosh, that's mom's weapon.
Oh, that was the Thai guy. He had all the.
Is there a mannequin in there?
No, there's nothing in there.
Oh.
The custodian, Dr. Mills's office. Custodian. Stay in front of you.
Just like one of those.
Schizophrenia.
That's not the way I was going with it, but it's a light bright. That's what I was going for.
Light bright. There you go.
There's
That's what it looks like.
schizophrenia.
It probably is. It is.
Oh, let me take the. Give me 1 second. There we go. Madison just said schizophrenia.
What would you take that off?
I'm looking at the video. You can see our
You give us
overlay.
the 10,000 likes, we'll go sit in, we'll actually get closed into a,
Or just keep watching. We're gonna get in it regardless.
It's just a band room. It's just a band room. That's the noise of the band up there.
This is the children's center. I don't know. I'll just explain.
I wonder if that's still there.
Yeah.
Good job, Zach.
Thank you. No. Ain't no spirit but the Holy Spirit.
Played with me.
My child. Bless you, my child. Go the way. Go to the way of the light.
The building you are in housed the medical and surgical operations for the state hospital. The conductometer was used to test equipment and staff for static electricity to prevent sparks near operating rooms where oxygen and other gases were used. Pull the lever!
Oh,
It did.
it lit up. This is where we're at.
We're in GMB 06.
We're at the morgue.
Disaster supply.
All right, bye, Maddie.
Yeah, you remember you left us in the dungeon. Remember you locked us in.
Was there a mannequin in there? All right, you guys want to see something funny?
Were you getting in again?
You ready?
Ooh, that sheep.
Dun, dun.
How many times you down here twice?
I didn't know it had like the whole
It's got hickeys.
detail.
Yeah, it's got a beard, man.
I didn't know that. I always saw the top of its head.
Hello. Why are you caressing it?
You see her Joe?
Quit looking under the cover.
She's got a date tomorrow, man.
I've seen real ones. Real bodies? Hey, I don't know if you can confess that on here.
This whole interaction with the
If that thing
chat during
sits
this
up, y'all
whole thing
better
is
run.
funny.
No. Why is everybody's first reaction to run? You record it.
Yeah. Poor Ronaldo.
The arm fell off.
Need a hand?
You need a hand?
Touch of me.
Ew, why is it wobbly?
Ow. She got such hard hands.
Oh, God.
Look at his butt.
What did you do?
He skips glute day for sure. Who, the mannequin or my dad?
Yeah.
We gotta go get our check on some of our guests.
Hey, look at it. You used to wear your heart and shit on that stuff.
Mine would be 0.
Because you have no heart. All right, Ronaldo. Back up here, Bubba. Here we go.
Why are you trying to hit it right at me?
Sorry.
All right, you
Here,
got
I'm trying to
Just knock his head.
Hold on.
man.
Well paid actor.
What's he getting paid? All right, rest easy, Ronaldo.
Thank you, Ronaldo. It was fun.
He's just. What was that?
Oh, it's Doug.
Doug.
Doug, you missed it.
Doug.
I feel like going on an investigation with y'all would be like hanging out with my fun younger brothers. Everyone has gotten in them. Scary dead bodies been on them.
Wait, who said that, man?
That wasn't all one comment.
Who was that?
That was Wynn that said the first one about the investigation.
This would be hot.
Welcome.
To get in that thing
Oh yeah, so well, I'm just standing here. Sorry.
Huh?
So these are. He's back.
That's Ronaldo.
Oh, I'm crying.
Hey, watch for the arm. It comes off.
Oh my God.
Arm might fall off there. We should stick Ronaldo in the car.
Oh, that was legit tears. It wasn't from fear. It was I did not expect to see him grab that man.
I still have my trips.
Oh my God. The weenie-less mannequin.
What did he say? What'd she say?
The weenie-less mannequin. My stomach hurts. Oh.
Yeah, that's gonna be a classic. That's gonna be a classic live, man. I'm gonna go ahead and download this one.
She was nothing like walking around with a mannequin. Oh man. Doug, you up on the table?
No.
No.
No, I thought that was Ronaldo at first.
Why-
Ronaldo on the floor?
That's not a sock. Doug, that's his leg, not a sock.
Was that Ronaldo?
Yeah, I know. Are you there?
Are you alive
Are you blind?
I remember him being in the group. What's that? I don't remember him being in the group. He's spooky.
Yeah.
It's all right, Ronaldo. It's all right. You got some bedhead, man.
I mean, laying on an autopsy table for that long. I think we're doing for it. Doug, you're taking the whole trip.
Breaking the damn table.
I think it's supposed to be double over his dead body.
We're really going for it.
I like his hat. It's gonna stick up over the sheet.
Madison, get a photo.
Yeah, hurry up, Madison, get a photo.
Yeah, one job.
One drop. Hold on. Ronaldo wants to pay his respects. Ronaldo's gonna cut on you. Come on, buddy.
Oh, karate chop him. Oh man. Oh
Man,
man.
we can have so much fun with the one mannequin.
Hey, TikTok, this guy's for sale.
Yeah, why you kids?
Oh,
All right, Ronaldo's actually, he's probably gotten years.
Ah.
Ronaldo goes back to his wrestling spot. Shit.
so Doug, when you text us tomorrow and be like, man, why am I hurting?
Sorry, Ronaldo. There you go, Bubba. Bring him back up here.
Win said,
Dude, look at his fucking gut, man. He's got better abs than I do.
Win said, oh my God, that's not standard surgical practice. You're right. He didn't wash his hands first.
Are you doing like
And he's not gonna wash his hands after, right?
Well, you can call it karate if you want.
Well, if that wasn't good television, I don't know what is.
I'm hands down that mannequin. You holding him behind that wall. I was crying. There was tears running down my face.
Just because we had just got done playing around with it.
Yeah.
You were expecting it.
No. All I hear is.
At least she says his name's Steve.
Oh, no. 3 days of this, man.
That was hilarious. So the mannequin on the table, his name is
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
His name's Fred.
Oh, Fred.
Oh, I named him Ronaldo.
Not as good.
He just had the time of his life. He gets around.
Oh man.
That was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Now, with everybody watching that, they can see what Jerrad was talking about from the building, the desk to the conference room. There's a pretty long hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Ronaldo. Whenever you guys hear us reference, if you've never seen the video, now you know who Ronaldo is. And at that portion, yeah, we were all extremely slap happy. So
Jeez.
we weren't disrespecting anything that was in the museum.
No.
I don't think we were. No. But you got to see the second floor with the dungeon. Those were all of the instruments, stuff like that they use. What else do we have in there? The morgue, obviously. That's
cars.
the slab autopsy table you can lay on. Those are the slabs that you can get in, which we have videos of all of us getting in them as well. The cars that were built by the students there, the materials were all given, I think, from...
Yeah, there's 2 full engine, everything cars in that one room. And it's not a garage. Like, it's a room.
Yeah, they
like,
built them in that room.
They
And
built
that was
them in that room. Yeah.
that was the main reason of me going in there was when I'd first gone in there, I was like, oh, I really like the lighting and stuff like that. I want to get photos. And the room that we were in before was set up like a kitchen. And I'm like, oh, hey, let's go show them these cars. Then Doug, not realizing that we had already messed around with Ronaldo, whatever you want to call him. And that's when he came in and interrupted car time, because we do go back and show the cars, which are incredible. But yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, it is a fun time.
You kind of got to see a little bit of the exhibits and how it's set up. The main area, yeah, you got to see the long hallway that Jerrad was talking about.
Go to every bathroom on every floor.
I meant to ask or tell him about that.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say something to him about that.
Each bathroom is themed. I'm not going to tell you what they are because you're going to have to experience them yourself.
Yes.
But every single bathroom has a different theme to them.
Yes.
And from the Facebook post, I believe they were voted the 3rd best bathrooms in America.
Oh, I immediately, it's cool to go. You have to check out even the women's bathroom.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're all each bathroom because there's only 2. There's the first floor and the second floor.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. We didn't go up all the way. That was
I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's-
no, I thought she said there was 14 bathrooms. So
I think it's more scary because the
Yeah.
lights are off, so you have to walk in and turn the light on.
yeah, to see what
You're like,
to
okay,
see
what's
what
in
theme
here?
they are.
yeah.
I'm excited because we haven't been up to the 3rd floor,
No,
and I'm excited if he's going to unlock the doors and let us go on the tunnel side of the building, the actual building there, and get to go up there too. I'm kind of curious now to what and
Maybe.
stuff. So
We have a new guest. I don't think you were here last time, but that was from our convention in Illinois. when
yeah,
we went.
I was here. She was on here last week.
Was she?
Yeah, her.
Oh.
She was, and then the witches.
My memory is terrible. Clearly, I just forgot a whole investigation that we did at a location.
What's going on, Amber?
Yeah. Zach laugh crying is the best. My stomach hurts so bad.
oh my gosh, that was long.
What's the blind man looking at? That's why I was laughing. You had like one eye closed looking at the number up there, like close to
was
the
I?
screen.
Oh,
So yeah, Haunted Souls, Paranormal, soulswithaz.com. You can buy tickets to Glore. Come out and investigate with us. See Glore at night, maybe with some lights on. Who knows? But if not, definitely check them out. I don't know what their tour schedule is. I don't know if you can just come and go as you want or if they have scheduled times.
no, I
But-
think they're just like an open museum during
Yeah.
the daytime.
100%. They have a gift shop too with some cool stuff in there.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out. You could spend a long time in there reading. And like I said, there's stuff on there like the music room and stuff like that we showed on camera. There's a ton of photos and descriptions of them. Definitely get lost.
I mean,
You know-
we missed a whole exhibit.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What were you gonna say?
No, I'll tell you later. Nothing.
Why will y'all be in Kansas City Friday? I don't know. Why are we in Kansas City Friday?
I think we're just staying in Kansas City.
Because we're driving up to stay, so we don't have to drive up,
All
do
the
an
way.
investigation, and drive home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Pam.
Thank you, Pam.
Hi,
Thank you
Pam.
for tuning in. Anything else?
No, pretty much.
Do we want to do one of the questions?
Oh yeah, their little paranormal
Oh,
little segment.
yep. Or who's the quickest to answer?
Chat, get ready.
All right, we're going to go with this one. In Friday the 13th, the 1980 movie, what character is revealed to be the killer? In Friday the 13th, 1980, what character is revealed to be the killer?
Jason,
Tick, tack, tick. You're not supposed to be playing the game.
She can.
I can.
Anybody at all.
Great minds think alike.
Who said?
Mom said Jason.
Wrong answer.
All right, Friday the 13th expert.
I'll give you 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold on. I got some slow pokes in here. Yeah. Stacy said Jason. Jules said the dad. Kathy said the mother. And Mr. Headshaker, who has the right answer?
Right.
The mother.
Yes.
Mother.
What's her name?
Catherine.
No.
It's
This is
Pamela Voorhees.
Pam.
Pam.
Kathy, the dog. Yes. Shapeshifter.
The shapeshifter.
That was
Um,
lovely.
so do a little plug here because I've been working on these for like ever, all weekend up until today. I still have one more to do. We did investigate Whisper's estate. We had a 4-hour live from there. I have broken them up and made some TikTok edits. So if you're on TikTok, go check those out. I don't know when I'll post those to YouTube. But we get some funny bits in there. For the people that did tune in, I finally saw the person running across the street.
Dude, that was
I showed
creepy.
him that today. That
Thank
is the
you.
weirdest thing ever.
Thank you.
It
He
was
doesn't
like
run. He's not running the right way. He's like it's like arms and legs. It's
I thought maybe there was a dog next to him, so it looked like multiple legs, but like it was like a cartoon.
Like
it looked like he was like
Who's the character? Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner.
Roadrunner.
It looked like a Roadrunner like speed up run, and then he just disappears.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that is more on camera quality because it gets kind of blurry, but you don't see anything past a certain point before he goes off screen, and it looks like he just disappears.
So when I saw him physically, I saw him at the end when he went behind. So like when you stay on the porch, you can see the church, right? And then you can see the end of the street. He went in front of the church, but behind those houses. So he went out in that street.
I just thought
it
it
was
was wild
weird.
that you and Jules were the only two people to see it. I mean, we had our backs turned to it, so we didn't see it. You were sitting more kind of sideways to it. But for somebody else to see it on live at that time, like I said, I didn't see it until I went back. When I was editing the video, I was excited because I'm like, oh, this is the part that's coming up. And then I saw the little character run across the street, and I'm like, what the hell was that?
And you see me go,
Yeah, it was wild. And that's when you can hear me say, I don't know what's out here. We need to get inside.
Yeah, when you showed me the video today of the guy running, I'm like, ew, that don't look right. I was
Yeah.
like, did you slow that down
was
or
really
anything? He's
tall.
like, no, that's regular speed. Or
was he
Yeah.
not really tall?
I don't know.
I remember
was
him
in the-
being
it was in the
tall.
back.
so you can watch the video. You can go check it out and give us your opinion on what you think it is.
I don't know how to count apparently because I lose track of how many posts or parts I made. I made part 3 and it was part 4. I don't know. Just go watch them. There's 5 total. I'm on 4 right now, editing 5.
Do a TikTok binge and watch
Yell at
all
me.
of our
I don't care.
TikToks.
We finally got down to the Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
So if you did watch that very short live, we did.
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about that
We
some
did
tonight too. I
yesterday.
totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
We did go down to the Haunted Mansion. Took some video, some B-roll, and did a walkthrough. And Zach took some great pictures of the place. That's our St. Louis event, August 11th and 12th. Just a short time we were there. We did a little investigation, like 20 minutes,
Yeah.
if that.
Yeah, something like that.
And on our live was, it's not very long. You might be able just to post the whole live just as a video, but yeah, it was. We caught a lot of good stuff just in that one little travel chest
Travel trunk.
trunk. Yeah, it was a travel trunk and stuff. It's an old trunk that someone gave them, and they said there was a little girl that don't like to be excluded, and we talked to her and got her name. That was kind of weird. That was kind of weird for us to use that app, and then for us to say, "Well, what's your name?" and all of a sudden her name comes right across. And at that moment in time, that something just once again.
It got it said haha on it. And we've never gotten that.
I was laughing at Zach.
Yeah, I was laughing at Zach, but we've never gotten that kind of wording on that app or anything. So
listen next week. What is next
I'll
week?
get
She said, I seen the tube, Madison.
Yeah.
Clear as day. Yeah.
We'll have some Glore stuff.
Yeah. Glore evidence.
Some Glore evidence and stuff. We said, like I said, we'll have some of that, and then we'll talk about some of the stuff that we did at St. Louis Haunted Mansion and upcoming with that and everything. So
Yeah.
It's a very short live, not enough of a tease. Well, it was because a lot of people were saying already. So
yep.
the tease did its job.
Maybe come to
Yep.
the St. Louis event.
But we did a walkthrough of that as well that we'll post on YouTube so people can see the location.
Yep. That's an interesting place too. That's a weird place. It was just weird that stuff. Maddie had weird feelings.
It was
The lights going off every time I stepped by, it would go off.
Yeah.
That was weird. And like Nicole and them were like, that don't happen all the time. So it was like really
that
weird.
never.
But check us out next week so you can hear more about it. We'll give you a tease on that and everything. But anything else, sir?
No.
No. Madison?
Yeah.
If you want to get a ticket, HauntedSoulsParanormal.com for Glore this
it-
Saturday. Our August 11th to 12th event in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And then you got Ashmore in September and Melvin Manor in October. Melvin Manor is going to be a really good event since we now have the book.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, if you want a really cool books to read, go Tori Westhoff on Facebook. Get in touch with her. She's got Melvin Manor book, McAteer Villa, Zach's pictures in that book. And she's got other books too, but it's more of like a field guide for paranormal investigators. It's really cool and everything. Buy our merch. Haunted Souls Paranormal. Follow us on TikTok, Facebook. Join our Facebook group page, Haunted Souls Paranormal group page. You can advertise if you got stuff, your events, anything like that. We love, or if you got just paranormal. Sorry. If you have, what am I trying to say? Paranormal evidence or something that you want to post.
Yeah.
You can post. So that's all I got.
Sign us off.
You want to say bye? Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, you've already asked if
Oh,
we had
I just said if you had anything, you said no. Not that you didn't say bye or nothing. We'll get, after 19 episodes, we'll eventually get this right. I mean, it's like, I don't know. See you next week, everybody. Have a great week. Be safe. Stay spooky.